Hello, everyone. This is I, Roman. You guys are my Romanettes. You're in this circle. This is what happens when you get in me. That in me. That happened this weekend. And we're back, and I'm back with another episode of the podcast. The hostess with the mostest. And I'm here with friends of the podcast. I have Jason.
Hello.
And Mike here with me.
Hi, bonjour.
Thank you guys for being here. We always love having friends of the podcast. Tonight we are dropping. Isn't it bonsoir at night, by the way?
It is, but who knows when your audience is.
Sorry, I'm international. Tonight we are dropping our newest panel. This one on cancel culture. How do you do it? Like, it seems like every time I turn around, there's another popular figure getting in trouble because of actions they have done to either their kids or women. It's getting to the point where you can't like anyone from our past without running into some scandal of theirs. I wanted to sit down with some of my friends, and I actually have two of them here who are on the gosh damn panel. Both Mike.
It was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. It was really good. I just fan edited it, so it better have fucking been right. So yeah, they were actually on the panel. And so we all sat down and we kind of talked about like how we personally cancel famous people in our lives, like how to listen to old stuff not new, watch old stuff not new. Do we stream? Do we not click? Stream but not buy? Blah blah blah. We talk about what it would take to cancel someone famous. What would it take to stop using services from businesses, or even cancel social media altogether. Really, really, really good panel, and you guys should check it out after the news recap. Stay tuned for that. Coming up next week, we are going to be dropping the newest interview, and this one is going to be fun. It's funny how I keep going from we to I, you know what I mean? Like keep going the King's we, and then it's really I, because it used to be me and Cameron, and now it's just me.
Right.
But I guess it's the King's we, you know what I mean? Like, well, I like to say, like people say, you're a queen, I say, I'm a goddess. Honey. I prefer the moment. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be dropping the newest interview, and this is going to be with Lindsay Slowhands. Really fucking cool. You guys know who Lindsay Slowhands is, yeah? Of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, amazing, legend. So I'm going to sit down with this legendary diva and discuss her origin story, which is really fun. If you know anything about drag and necessity, you definitely know Lindsay Slowhands. I think she's been doing drag for like over 10 years. I might be wrong, but I'll find out. And then, or you will. And the amount of stories she has and the people she's met over the years will blow your mind. It will when you listen to her interview. So stay tuned next week for part 1 of my interview with her. In the coming weeks, I'll be dropping a panel on growing up religious. So keep tuning in to stay up to date on the fire content I'm bringing you. And by fire, I mean hellfire, because we're all going into it. So let's get into it, bitches. Let's get our mood enhancer, por favor. On the count of 3, we're going to 1, 2, 3. I think you consider yourself enhanced. Happening since we last saw each other. So the Oscars happened. Did you guys watch the Oscars?
I did not, but Michael B. Jordan, that's all I care about.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I think I saw the highlights.
You saw the highlights? I saw some. I didn't even see the fucking highlights. I saw that one clip with Anna Wintour and Anne Hathaway. Didn't even see it, but saw kind of like in the club. Like I was like, okay, they did something cute, and then someone showed it to me. I was like, all right.
That was actually pretty cute.
Yeah, that was pretty cute. Did you see that randomly, that one meme where like, or this one thing on Instagram where I guess it's like some guy who likes to ask people questions on the red carpet, and he starts with, so who are you? And he asks Anna Wintour, because she goes, hey, and he goes, so who are you? She goes, oh, and she walks off. It's like people are like, well, he does it to everyone, bitch, but that's Anna Wintour. Maybe talk to her first. But anyway, so yeah, I saw that Michael B. Jordan won, and that what Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
And then it ran 4 out of 16, right?
I believe they did, yeah.
You know, it's funny, like when people are like, oh my God, I can't believe that Timothy Chalamet didn't win. I'm always looking at them, oh, so you didn't vote for the black person? You didn't want the black person to win? Oh, of course you wanted them. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's kind of a little complicated because, I don't know. It's a history of black people that are deserving, the leading whatever, album sales or whatever, radio play, streams, and it's like they just don't get the awards. So it was cool to watch him get it. It felt kind of like vindication in some ways.
Yeah, I don't really watch movies, and I definitely haven't seen the Sinners movie. But I need to.
It's great.
Okay,
it's great.
I'm gonna watch the fucking movie. All right, let's go. So, okay, a couple stories in Brazil. So you know how I say in Brazil that they're very much closer to nature. And so and it'll show up in like weird little not weird, sorry, in interesting ways. That was not the word. In interesting ways, like this one way, I had a friend and we were going to the beach and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna ask the goddess for permission." And I thought, I was like, oh, okay. So I looked it up, and it's basically a La Manja, and so it's an Afro Brazilian. La Manja is an Afro Brazilian, or like Yoruba goddess, and of the sea, mother of all, I think, gods or something, or all spirits, and basically they would ask for permission. It's also where the tradition of wearing white, I think, on New Year's comes from, because when you do, everyone goes to the beach on New Year's and they all wear white.
Okay.
And then you give offerings and stuff like that. So there's that. I don't know if I told you, but also like, and then this is not all Brazilians, obviously, but this is like what I experienced when I was in Rio. Like on the beach when the sun was set, people would clap for the sun and thank the sun for the day. You know what I mean? Which is like these two little instances of being like, really close to nature, just like can you imagine being in Beverly Hills or Santa Monica, you know what I mean, or whatever, and then just be like thanking the sun or whatever. I know not everyone, because I asked one friend if another Brazilian, does everyone do that? He goes, "Girl, no, that's the hippies, right?"
I was just about to say,
yeah,
the hippies would probably do it, but
yeah, right. So I mean, obviously not everyone, but I mean, like in Rio, when you're on the beach, that's like their Beverly Hills. So I mean, so it's just like how it's how hippie vibe is kind of like a bigger vibe there. I think. Yeah.
I kind of like that better than like acknowledging the indigenous land that we're on. You know, you can acknowledge the indigenous God and might educate a little bit more people rather than just acknowledging the land.
Yeah, I mean, it also just like, and it brings you, I mean, if you're thanking the ocean or asking the ocean for permission, then it's an acknowledgement on nature. If you're thanking the sun for the day, is acknowledgement on the impact of nature, you're probably much less, I would think, be much less likely to like ruin it. I think if Americans were much more closer to nature in terms of like a overall thing, we would waste less and, care about, nature more.
Plus it keeps you in a state of gratitude.
Yeah. Right, for the things around you, for the earth, which is real, at least tangible, right? You know what I mean? Versus like spirituality, which is intangible.
Right.
All right, so, oh my God, did you guys hear about Putin? The little...
No.
Oh, I had to look up that video. I love it. Get closer to death.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like I only put it on here. It's like a small little... What'd you say, Alicia?
No, I'm just saying I missed this one. But
yeah, I put it as a small little like scandal, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting to talk about. So like Putin, y'all, was basically making a speech about, I think, Women's Day, which is ironic. Right. Is it opposite day? Was he talking about, was it an onion? Anyway, so Putin was making a speech about Women's Day, and on it he's like coughing, but it's clear it's got like, I think he even said that I have a frog in my throat. And what was noticeable about it is that they actually like released it from like Kremlin sponsored sources, which which is weird because like there actually are two different departments. There's two departments in the Kremlin whose sole purpose is to make sure to take care of Putin's image and to make sure it's always seen as completely healthy or whatever. So any thing with him in it especially has to get so many approvals. Right, so that the fact that it got put up there, it's actually apparently treason to even talk about his health in a negative way.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the subject of potential health issues or cancer or something for ages. I'd like to just see it happen.
I mean, here too. Shit.
I mean, well, I'm sure a lot of people would, but the only thing that got me is that when you watch it, it's really just a man with a tickle in his throat. You know what I mean? Like the news really try to sensationalize it. Some of them do like, oh my God, it's finally a view of him crumbling as an old man. No, girl. After McConnell, Biden, and Trump, we know what an old man crumbling in front of us looks like, and that's not what this. Anybody could get a frog in the
tactic.
Throat.
That's how they attack political rivals. You just
frogs in their throat.
Yeah, you just say like, oh, look how unhealthy they are.
Oh,
and try to.
Yeah, but these were the KGB wouldn't be saying it about Putin, and these are.
But someone posted it, and it was up for 4 minutes.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. But like and also I was wondering, some people are saying that someone's obviously going to probably be brought up on treason because, like I said, it's illegal to do it, and because it's being taken in to such a length, Putin's probably gonna want him to kill somebody for it. Yeah. But I'm just saying, when you look at it, he's just coughing. It looks like he just needs some water. The fact that it got out there is the crazy part, but it also, because I mean, some of these like Daily Caller, like some of these bigger news things the headlines are really trying to force it to be like a Biden moment or a Trump moment or a Mitch McConnell, and it's really not.
It's not that, but I wonder if that's a sign of being like a crack in his support.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a sign of something, but it ain't a sign of him being infirm like they're trying to make it. But yeah, the fact that it got out is crazy. The fact that it was like released by Kremlin sources is crazy because, like I said, there's so many checks to have for that to happen. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what that means.
I mean, probably means he got some, people in his camp that maybe don't like him.
Yeah, maybe he is like getting really old, and maybe he really is infirm or something.
Maybe someone's just really incompetent at their job, like me. You're just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
undo.
Right. No, I was gonna say with those many checks, you can't. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't been checked by 4 days. Like I said, there's 2 different departments in the Kremlin who view these things for that not to happen. So the fact that it happened, to your point, is a big statement. I just don't know what it means. Like that wouldn't, like, imagine it happening with Xi Jinping. My God, you know what I mean? He shut down the whole country. Yeah. He just shut off the internet for 3 days. Okay, all right. And with that, we're gonna go to one of the newest editions of the podcast, and that's What Really Grinds My Girdles, where I talk about something that really just pisses me off. So, Mike, Jason, do you guys know what really grinds my girdles? The fucking advertising that is being done on Grinders and Sniffies. So I don't know if I told you guys this story. Maybe I mentioned it, but I was on Grindr in Brazil, and someone turned me down. Whatever happens, whatever, right? But right at that moment that I was reading it, a header advertisement in the header of the app pops up that says "need to lose weight." I was like, really, bitch? Right now? You know what I mean? In this area, you want to go? We need to lose weight ad? You know what I mean? And a pop up ad too. And then I noticed it on Sniffies when you're scrolling through. It'll have like Wegovy or the GLDP-1, whatever. First of all, like when it's crazy to me that we've allowed companies to promote weight loss drugs during like Grindr, those kind of chats.
Right.
That's crazy. Or on any of those, on any like connection chat, Tinder, blah, blah, blah. Like, I know that wouldn't happen in other countries. It is just crazy to me. It's just such a symptom of our country that we just allow corporations to do anything. But and then also like GLDP-1 or whatever, those drugs, like they're literally designed for people who need it, obese, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But to have such an unserious ad in a Grindr and a Sniffies chat, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's fucking crazy. And the fact that we allow that.
You got to look at Grindr and Sniffies too, because they're the ones who are allowing those ads on their platform.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't really blame the companies for wanting to sell their ads to those places, but yeah.
I think I think one, it's the culture that allows it, because I mean it's a culture that basically there's no uproar that says, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if this was done in like Europe, there would be an uproar, or there's just a regulation. There should be a regulation, especially with what we know now about advertising and social media. We got it, like, you know what I mean? But even then, just the fact that like it's so okay that it means nothing. I just know in other countries it would be much more of an uproar. It wouldn't be allowed. But it just shows how predatory they are on us as American citizens and how much we allow it. You know what I mean? Because to me, it just struck me that is the craziest time in the world to have a weight loss ad. You know what I mean? Like at all.
I'm oddly silent as I'm a premium subscriber to Sniffies. Didn't you know they had ads?
I mean, no, I have a premium. Yeah, I mean, I'm a premium subscriber now.
I wouldn't recommend that for Grindr unless you can afford thousands of dollars a month.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you use them. I'm still using the fucking apps. I mean, how else do you meet people online? I'm just saying that it's crazy to me that was just because it's just like that highlight to me of just like how fucking crazy we've kind of allowed it as a society, as a culture in America, that we just are allowing these companies to prey upon us just like that. Because I mean, just like if this from top level, no, you shouldn't be advertising weight loss drugs on a message thing. It shouldn't be fucking allowed. It shouldn't be, whether culturally or fucking legally.
We talked about like how America's a corporatocracy, and it's like these people just want to make money.
Yeah,
like they just want to make money. They just want to get their shareholders their value, and they're not really thinking about people's mental health, and it's sad that they're not, and we should have some regulations around it.
Yeah, that's why we fucking need regulations. Yeah. My gosh. And with that, let's go to party reviews. Let's talk about something fun like parties. So, what did I do this weekend? I went to sex tapes. Did you guys go to sex tapes?
I wanted to go. I just didn't have the energy that night, but I definitely wanted to do it.
And I feel you having the energy is important.
Yep.
A new party for me. Describe it. I haven't heard of it.
Sex tapes. So sex tapes is a party that started in LA. DJ Kid, who used to live here, he was a DJ. He did a bow a lot. and other places. But it's basically like a black, like POC, you know, like black guy party or whatever. It's got like, there's like house music, like a hip hop house or whatever. And it bounces and forth between here and LA, and it might be another city. But yeah, it's really cool. It's been at the Stud the last like couple of times. They've also had a DNA Lounge, which is the last time I went to it. It was really fun. The stud was fierce.
I went to the last one at the Stud. It was really good. That was my first time. So
Yeah, it was really cool. The music is really good. The only criticism I had is that it ended at 2 a.m. And I was just like, bro, I want this longer. You know what I mean? Like, but I know it could probably be a, you know, venue availability thing or a money thing, because after 2, you're not making as much money. You know what I mean? Blah,
Right.
blah, blah. But I really wanted it to last longer. But, you know, it was really, really fun. You know, I love black boys. You know, I love good music. And a dark room. I went to Daytime Realness this weekend. Did you guys go? No? Daytime Realness was fun. You know, stuff. I think, did I tell you guys that like it was like 3 weeks ago when I realized, or a month ago when I realized Daytime Realness was about being trans and being able to like pass in the daytime.
no.
I didn't even know that. And I don't even know how it hit me. I was just like, oh.
Learn something new. every-
Literal fucking Lee. But yeah, Daytime Realness was fun. First one of the season. Weather was great. I will say that like for the first half, the music was really slow, like really slow. And I'm not saying you have to play 125 BPMs, you know, if at all at Daytime Realness, but 50, bitch, is too fucking
Yeah,
slow.
that's-
Do you know what I mean? It didn't really get like, it didn't get popping until like the second half. But I don't know about that. It was like really slow at the beginning with the music. I was like, girl, let's go. But it was really fun overall. Had a good time. And let's see what parties are coming up. On 3/19, we have Queen Out at Cafe, a very popular party. I think the first one they had was at just recently, or the first most recent one was at the Public Works. So they'll come bringing it back to the cafe. Expect pop and hyper pop with some flipped into some tech balls and funk and Miami Club and Jersey Club, which you know I like. On 321, they have Young Hearts at the Eagle, another Young Hearts edition. Last one was lit. See you there. 321, we also have Icon at Club 6. So basically Reload, which is like after hours from LA, is coming to SF. Fierce DJs, Fierce Boys. I will be there. A lot of people are talking about it. 322 at the cafe is Soft Serve. Really cute party. Was there last a couple Sundays when they were at the cafe. Love it when parties at the cafe are people of my generation, so older than 25. I mean, not my generation, but just older than fucking 25. And the party was fierce. The boys were hot. The music was hot. On 327 at Public Works, there's an Electrolux. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. The last Electrolux party was fierce. Hopefully this one is just as fierce because it's not just techno. On 327 at Bo, we have Circuit Poppy with Isis Mertek. Gotta love her. So wise Bo bringing the best circuit music to the city. On 328, we have at Club 6, we have Prime VHS. You know what I mean? That just goes together. Prime, older people, and VHS, which is an older edition of it. Prime is fun. They have a DJ from Atlanta and Berlin. Should be fun. And last I have on here is at 4-3, we have Booth at a Queer Warehouse, which I will keep saying is hopefully that warehouse is up to code. And with that, you guys have any parties to bring up?
328 Saturday night at Powerhouse. I'll be at Lickett.
320?
328.
328?
Last Saturday.
Last Saturday of the month.
Yes.
Say, okay, so, and remember that. And let's go to break. And we will be back to talk about our world news talking points. And we're back. Let's get into some news. Chinese national arrested over attempt to smuggle 2,000 queen ants from Kenya. So a Chinese national was arrested and brought up on charges in Kenya for trying to smuggle out some Kenyan queen rats. He had them in his luggage, including about 400
They were ants.
ants. Sorry, rats, ants. Sorry. He had 400 ants. Can you imagine 400 rats?
I was like, hold
Oh,
on.
good God. About 400 ants in his, I'm sorry, he had about 2,000 ants in his luggage, including about 400 ants that were in a napkin or in like a bag, and he was planning to take on a plane. We'll get to that. He is allegedly the mastermind behind a group that was caught and arrested last year, or at least some of the members, for smuggling ants out of the country. At the time, the charges were landmark because it was the first time charges were brought up against someone for ants, or smuggling ants versus like other larger animals such as lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. This man is allegedly the ringleader behind that gang that was caught last year. He got away, apparently by using a different passport. Queen ants are wanted as collector's items by people in Europe and Asia, and they are not an endangered species, but they're probably danger in some sense. What do you guys think?
were the ants alive?
Yes.
That's
Yeah. Okay. First of all, do not gift me an ant. I do not want to collect that. And I went. I was curious, like, why it was so valuable. And according to Wikipedia, queen ants can live to be 29 years old, which I guess that would be disruptive if you take a 29-year-old queen out of the soil, but still.
Plus, it's like a really long, like as a collector, you get to have an ant that can live for decades and that. Because I mean, these are rich people who want things for stories and for rarity and for whatever. So having an ant that can live for 30 years to a collector is amazing. You know what I mean?
I mean, but I'm just like, it's ants though. Like, what? I mean, I guess when you have that much money, you're just want to blow it on something. You know, like buy
do
whatever.
not try. I don't even touch ugly dogs. Like I can't.
First of all, ew. Ants on a fucking plane. Not even fucking snakes on a plane. Ants on a fucking plane.
Right.
Ew. Ew. And then like on a napkin or whatever in a bag. Like what happens if they fucking got out? Can you imagine if you were on a plane and ants just started swarming? Oh my
2,000
God.
of them?
Oh.
I mean, I could understand if they were wealthy and they wanted to go like, do some exotic game hunting or something like that. But ants are just, I'm like, I don't understand. Insects, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, one, like game hunting, fuck all that. Like that's like.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I understand if, like, I can understand that's what they would do.
Yeah, I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying in general, just that whole like rich mindset of collecting game. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like that's like, it's like, are we still, I mean, I know we are, but are we still fucking doing this to animals? Are we still like capturing these motherfuckers out the wild, like girl, and taking them to fucking collectors? And I know the reason that we're doing it is because they fund it. But I mean, and I know that's why we have these laws or whatever, but it's just like rich humans and corporations suck and the corporations suck because then they fund this shit. You know what I mean? Because if they weren't willing to pay for these fucking these ants, then nobody would be trying to steal them.
Right.
And it's fucking annoying. You know what I mean? Like you want to have an ant in the, oh God, it's just so annoying. And there's so many other ways to do it. You don't even need a fucking ant. Well, you know what I mean? Like, go sponsor a fucking colony and then go see them or something. You know what I mean? You don't gotta fucking have one. It's just so like there's rich people who do this dumb shit because they don't give a fuck about the environment, don't give a fuck about the animals, don't give a fuck about whatever. You know what I mean? They'll pay more the more endangered it gets. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's just so much better stuff you could do with money. I mean, like, I'm not one to pocket watch or tell people what to do, but it's like, I don't know. Ants, I don't get it.
And also, like, I think that it's like, I think what are they in the article? They talk about how like the members of the gang that got caught last year, whatever, got 1 year. Fuck 1 year. Like they needed 5 years minimum. You fucking with animals. 10 years, you take them out the country. We need some. You know what I mean? We need some like bigger. Because a 1 year fine is nothing. You see the ringleader didn't get scared at all about the rest of his ring getting caught because he waited a year and came back on another ID. You know what I mean? Like, and then all you have to do is wait a year. No, fuck that. You get caught. You can't come to the country at all again if you're fucking, a national or whatever, because I don't trust that you're going to try it again. 5 years in jail or 10, I don't know, something, but it needs to be more. Because we're at the point now we like can't afford to be losing any more fucking animals. We're already losing them left and fucking right, from climate change. We can't afford to just be having people taking shit. That's like they're fucking, ugh. With that, let's go to motherfucking American news. And we're back. So, the topic. Ericka Kirk under fire after controversial remarks about young white male man at Arkansas event. Ericka Kirk, Charlie Kirk's wife, she runs Turning Point America, was at an event with the governor of Arkansas, which remember that, the governor of Arkansas at the governor's mansion, and was making statements as part of a presentation on protecting and energizing young people to join Turning Point and obviously the Republican Party. During her speech, she said specifically, don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. This created an uproar online with a lot of people saying it was racist, although there are some people on the other side of the argument stating that if you said this about any other race, it would be considered okay. And that it was like talking about like just uplifting white men. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I think it was racist to say white men because white men have been in power. It's like the difference with saying black men or Asian men or Latino men is that they haven't been in power. So there's this idea that, you can uplift them. White men are already uplifted. Like they've been the center of everything since the inception of the country.
Right.
being at an event with Ericka Kirk and Sarah Huckabee Sanders, like, is that a meeting of just crazy-eyed people only?
Well, the crazy thing is that one of them is the governor. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just crazy to me. It's kind of like when we talked about Tucker Carlson had Mike Huckabee, who was always a fucking Huckabee, right? You better
Well,
Hucka stay the fuck
Mike
home.
Huckabee's daughter.
Right, but let me finish. I was saying that when I talked about Mike Huckabee, who's the ambassador to Israel, going on Tucker Carlson. So I was just saying, like someone in an actual official position going to, like, this is the governor of Arkansas having someone from Turning Point. Do you know what I mean? Which is pretty radical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like I know it's on college campuses, so I guess it's gonna be there, but it's very partisan. And it's very it's very radical. I mean, it's not as radical as Tucker Carlson, but I mean, like, look what she said. She said this at the governor's mansion. Do you know what I mean? Like, the governor of Arkansas, she said even if it's like can be misconstrued, or even if it could be, it's a very ambiguous, an ambiguous statement came out at a presentation at the governor's mansion with the governor there. And it's not, and we're kind of talking about her and not the fact that it happened with the governor. But I guess, I mean, America's used to having racist
we're so
governors,
used to this. I mean, with Trump, the last decade. I mean, this is kind of normal, unfortunately. Ericka Kirk saying that to me was like, it's not surprising because we have gone so far to the right and made racial sentiment and discrimination normal that she's not going to catch she caught some temporary like pushback, but this is going to blow over and it's not going to really.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, one, I was thinking, because I was thinking that can be an argument that, like, if you're talking about what speaking towards like what someone said once, what I like called white downfall, which is like where you're just like coming from a POC's point, just talking about bad about white people and maybe putting them in place of maybe the white institution, right? Or just like denigrating white people just as an overall thing, like that we really shouldn't do. You know what I mean? I can understand people's reaction to racism and blah 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 blah, but like I just feel like that kind of language allows the far right in, because you can't meet, you know what I mean, if you're trying to get white allies, you can't meet them through shame generally, you know what I mean? And so I could see it being used for that. Obviously, I think that it most likely is racist. I mean, it's Ericka fucking Kirk. But also I think that it was also calibrated and used like that so that it left the door open for other interpretations, which is kind of the point too, because then they can say, oh no, that's not what it was, blah, 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 right? So it gives them something to hang their hat on. But I mean, I do think that you could make that, it's probably not because it's her. And if you were going to make that argument, you could be made in a better way. You know what I mean? Or she could have contextualized it differently. But I think that argument is interesting.
I also couldn't tell if she is transphobic or just an idiot, because she did say a white male men, and
she's probably transphobic.
Yeah, she's
good to point that. No, it's good to point that out. I didn't even see that, but the white male.
Yeah, I wonder why she said it.
It's probably transphobic because that's a big thing that they on the right are using whenever, you know what I mean. They've been just, you know what I mean. So it's most likely that's a good call.
I mean, the point is for me that she basically, if everything was equal, then it wouldn't have been a problem. But the fact that white people have been in power for so long and have most of the resources and most of the political power, you know, you can't, I mean, I'm not saying you can't, but it is a bit touchy to mention.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, you can't really go out there and yell white power,
right?
But that's just because white power has been used in a lot of different ways. And I think you're right. I mean, I think that like saying it like that without any qualifications is done on purpose. Because there are arguments that could be made where you could be talking about like actual, good conversations about whatever, but it would need to be qualified better. And if you cared, you would. You know what I mean? Right. So the fact that they made it that clip and that sound edit is really what it is. And it's crazy to me that it happened at the governor's mansion. I mean, what are we like? What is it? Barry White? Well, not Barry White. What was the governor of fucking? Or was it Arkansas who wouldn't let the girls go to school? You know what I mean? With Dres B. Scott. I was like, is that where we're at? You know what I mean? Like, my God, he ran for president and lost. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know just enough history just to know his outline, but not his name. And with that, let's go to break. We'll be back with local news. And we're back. Let's go local. Like I say about politics. All right, so Cesar Chavez Foundation and the UFW investigating allegations of misconduct by Chavez. Cesar Chavez was a renowned union rights organizer who helped bring attention to workers' plights, especially Latinos, and he is renowned in America with statues, streets named after him, schools named after him. But he's having a different kind of moment now. There are allegations of sexual misconduct between him and girls and minors that is circulating within the non-profit world. Nothing specific has been made public, but enough people in the non-profit world know about it that they are canceling events like Cesar Chavez Day. The Cesar Chavez Foundation put out a statement about the allegations and asked for any victims or people who know anything to contact them. Various organizations are canceling Cesar Chavez themed events and rewards at this moment. What do you guys think?
I mean, it kind of ties into that panel we did about canceling.
That's kind of why I put it on here, the cancel culture panel.
I mean, clearly, if he was like having sex with minors, that's a done deal for me. Like, cancel it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
But I mean, has it been verified?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
like right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, the UFW's statement said that they've received enough, I guess, credible evidence to pull off of some of these events that are happening today, and
is it today?
Yeah, today's Cesar Chavez Day.
Ew, and today's Cesar Chavez Day.
Yeah, and they released this report on the 60th anniversary of it. So, not ideal, but at least terrible men who have done these things at least are being brought to light.
Yeah, it's important to do that.
Yeah, it's like, we've talked about celebrity culture. I mean, Cesar Chavez is not a celebrity necessarily, but he's, pretty well known here. And just like taking people off that pedestal,
Yeah. But also I think the reason I included it is because it's like, it was interesting because like, it would definitely be perfect for the cancel culture panel because I was like, one, they're canceling things, but they're not actually giving us anything real yet, right? We would know that there's some allegations. We don't even know what the allegations are about, which is fine because it could be it's not their place. Maybe the victims need to come out with something first, or they're going to do a lawsuit or something. He's dead, so I don't know. Maybe you know what I mean. Maybe they're going to sue. I don't know what. But it's also like canceling without saying anything is kind of annoying. And then also it's like, then how far do you take it? Because I mean, they were talking in the article like they named the street after him at the time. People didn't even really want them to change the name of the street, I guess, in LA. Plus, if you do research on this guy, he was one of those people that like gotten renowned for his accolades while he was living, and so then he got really powerful, and then I guess was powerful enough to then just start to just become like what happens. Power absolutely corrupts absolutely, right? Because he just got really autocratic and apparently a little.
Yeah,
with children.
It's time to separate the man
Allegedly.
from the movement, I think. And I think that UFW's statement does a good job at doing so, saying like it's unacceptable what he did.
Yeah.
We're today focused on preventing farm workers from being deported by ICE. We are working on protecting farmers while they are, working amidst the wildfires in California. So the work is important.
Yeah, I was just thinking, the reason
I could do it without the man.
True. I was like, but the reason I brought it up is it's kind of like a nuanced thing because I feel like you're right. Like the work is important that we separate, or maybe it's like, do you not have Cesar Chavez Day, or do you have Cesar Chavez Day and then maybe put like a plaque or some kind of, statement where you're just like, we understand that, this happened, blah, 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 blah. And while we are not, blah, 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 we are just, you know what I mean? Because I just think like, it's kind of like what Disney is kind of doing or kind of did with some of the scenes in their earlier movies where they didn't cut, but they say that like some of these things, the things in these movies were represented at the time and they're not good. Because I think it's like you can't just, like, my God, there's like, if you try to take away, cancel all the people who did great things, who did bad things, my fucking God, you know what I mean? But I was just, maybe opening it up for the nuance of how to talk about it.
There is nuance, and it's also a matter of what did they do. Like if he had sex with minors, that's just taken too far. People that are powerful do some nefarious things at times, but like you said, in the cancel panel, there's levels to it.
Yeah, I think that's what personally, it would be like. Yeah, but I don't know if I would want to do it. I mean, it just depends if he robbed something versus if he killed someone. But I do think that like it'll be interesting to see how we go forward because I mean he's got a day, he's got schools, he's got whatever, and it's not like they're going to change him, but maybe we'll see blurbs that speak to this allegation.
Yeah.
And And because this is such a messy week, we actually have a second pop culture topic. LiveNation employees boast about gouging fans with fees and parking costs and private exchange. So 2 executives for LiveNation had their Slack messages read as part of the government's case against LiveNation for being a monopoly. In the messages, the executives, one of which was control of ticketing for the company, were talking about how they are robbing the customers blind on ticketing and then on ancillary fees like parking. Messages like, quote, I almost feel bad for robbing them, quote, or, quote, robbing them blind, baby, unquote, in reference to the parking fees. LiveNation and the federal government settled the case with LiveNation agreeing to open up some of its tech to other companies and divest itself of some of the 13 amphitheaters it owns in the country. LiveNation still has to settle with or deal with the 39 other lawsuits brought by various states. I don't know how I feel about this one. What do you guys think? Actually, I know how I feel about this one. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, so this case came about due to the 2022 Eras tour from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And the debacle from Ticketmaster in selling those tickets caused a bipartisan outrage that led to hearings, that led to the DOJ ultimately, filing charges against Ticketmaster and their monopolistic practices. And, it looks like we got a lot of things along the way. We got legislation to ban junk fees. We've gotten Ticketmaster to cap some of their pricing, and so it has changed their practices to be a little bit more consumer friendly. Has it corrected everything? No, not by a long shot, but at least it's something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you buy tickets to a concert, it's like, these fees are bullshit.
Yeah.
You know that.
Right.
And so it's kind of nice to feel like you're not being gaslit and know that this was done intentionally to gouge us, and that is fucked up, and I'm glad that they got called out for it.
I mean, it really feels kind of fucking annoying because it's like with the Campbell soup thing when we talked about it, where the executives were like, oh, we know we're just selling poor people bad food. It's like they say the quiet part loud, but they're just they know they're doing it, they're making fun of it, and then you know what I mean, and they're just profiting off of it, and nothing really happens. At least in this case, the government went through and did something, which is one, highlighting this is why we have a government. Two, this is why we have regulations. Do you know what I mean? Three, this is a lot more populist, you know what I mean, than most of than Trump would go. And I was actually really surprised that he let it. Let this case go. Because, I mean, I don't know when he became president in terms of where they were in terms of a settlement or whatever, but he's shown that he will go down to the level of the attorney to get them and fire them if they don't want to do what he wants them to do. And so is Pam Bondi, you know what I mean? James Bond villain that she is. So I was just really surprised that he let this go through, and it's a good instance of the government actually working. You know what I mean? I don't know how many amphitheaters are motherfucking gonna sell, but they should have just broken LiveNation up because
they really should.
Yeah.
I mean, with Campbell Soup, you could buy Progresso instead. But with
LiveNation, where you gonna go?
Yeah.
And the fact that and now there's ugh. So I mean, good on the government. Finally, ooh, we have another pop culture news story. Yes. So for our second pop culture article, it's country star stops show to spot fan who busted him open, get his fat ass out of here. First, I want to say the only reason they even said the fat ass part is I want to bring it up later. But what do you guys think?
I mean, why would you throw your phone at someone? You don't have a phone.
Right.
I mean, it's cruel and mean, but aside from all that, it's just stupid.
Oh shit! I forgot to do the actual.
Yeah, you did the rundown,
the recap of the article. Sorry, y'all. But anyway, there was a country music star, and basically he was on stage. Someone threw a phone at him, hit his eye. He was bleeding. He kept performing, and then when the guy threw it, he pointed at him and said, "Get his fat ass out of here," and they escorted him out. And that was it. He kept bleeding, and then crew came out, helped him. He kept performing. He never stopped. Blah blah blah. So there you go.
Yeah, like I said, it makes no sense. I mean, it's cruel. I mean, you're paying money to go see someone perform, and then you throw your phone at them.
Right. How you getting home?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to get home? Where the hell my phone?
You
Where the hell
right
my
in the
phone?
car.
All right, you threw it, bitch.
How you gonna text your people when you get like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing?
That's like you just threw $1,200. You know what I mean? What the fuck wrong with you?
Because you know he ain't giving it back. Shit, if somebody threw their phone at me, I ain't giving it back.
Right, and obviously you don't think ahead because you probably say you don't have insurance. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Mike.
I mean, if someone asks you if you saw the video and they say no, then that's suspicious. Because they probably saw for his phone.
Oh yeah. Swinging a joking. That's funny. I will say that like the one I want. Okay, so I also want to bring it up because it said fat ass. So I just thought that was really interesting how fat phobic we still are. You know what I mean? Like that we are allowed to kind of like, just put that in the headline. We bleep out the ass part. They bleep out the ass part, but they put the fat ass in there. Like really. The other thing is like I can't believe artists still are going through this shit. Like, you know what I mean? I know Cardi B had a drink thrown at her, blah, blah, but you're through a phone. First of all, that's heavy. Too, why are you throwing a fucking phone? Like, did you bring another one? Like you just said, like, it's so, like, how fucked up are you? What the fuck cocktail that you got? Because whatever it was, don't buy it again. You stupid shit. Some stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
Like unless you were just trying to hurt somebody. And then also this is why I had to talk about AI. Where are the AI? This is what we need AI for. Scan the faces in the concert. You know what I mean? And find that motherfucker. Or I guess I already found him because they escorted him out. Why wouldn't he be prosecuted? Like literally,
that's
just
assault.
assaulted. That's assault, bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
But
what
I don't
is
know.
going on?
I mean, even in Australia, because that's where the concert was.
Yeah, what is going so wrong in Melbourne, Australia?
I mean, it happens anywhere. Cardi B was in America, I think, when it happened to her. It's not like it's an Australian thing.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about the laws.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
they have
like
assault
it's
laws.
assault
Like,
in Australia. They throw a fucking phone at somebody. You know what I mean? Like, bitch. Like,
but maybe the guy didn't press charges, or I don't know.
Right. You know, it's funny. Naomi probably like, ain't that a bitch? All right, now we're gonna move to our protest section.
Yeah!
This is a section where we highlight protests from across the world to show that at any given time, somewhere in the world, someone is protesting for their rights, and that we should remember that during this dark time or this supposed dark time. You know what I mean? I always feel like they're trying to make us really melancholy as a rule, so that we'll just kind of like ease into this authoritarian shit. But we got to remember that we have to celebrate life. You know what I mean? Because that helps us like value it more and keep us going. So anyway, so examples of protests. It was kids in Clovis, California, walked out. I think it was like 50 of them to protest our policy, our administration's policy on immigration. I really like seeing when the kids do this. What do you guys think? I mean, it's like cute, right?
I like it too.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like kids got to learn early now. Like, I wish they didn't have to do this, but I like the fact that they know that this is their world and they have to take over one day, and they're letting people know how they feel about things, and I think that's important.
Clovis. I'm just learning now that Clovis is voted for Donald Trump. Trump won every precinct with 70% of the vote. That is insane. And so it's excellent message from the kids to send to not just their parents, but like the community saying,
look what you did, motherfucker.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. We're coming up.
Right. Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, both of you said, it's cool to see like kids doing it. It's cool because like we're gonna need it, but it's a cool message. It's a cool thing. It's also kind of like really brave when you see it done by like kids in like the South or in these states or even counties where like they will try to like punish them or punish the executive or the people who work at the schools or whatever for allowing it. So yes, we support the kids in Clovis. All right, now we're gonna move on to our positive news section, which kind of speaks for itself. Croatia declared itself free of mines. Big thing there for countries where a lot of mines were placed. It can be really hard to get rid of them. When I was looking this up, I was like, oh, this must have happened in the 50s or 60s. No, but this was in the 90s. Like, God damn, we're like, you know what I mean? Like, that's very soon. Like, damn.
When you say mines, what do you mean by that?
Like landmines.
Like landmines were like
For the Yugoslavian War.
Okay.
For the Croatian War of Independence. I guess apparently on both sides, they would place mines to like protect like military equipment or to protect areas.
Okay.
Well, the problem with mines is there's apparently a way to do it. I don't think they were taking maps. And then if you take over a country and blow something up, do you find the maps of where the mines are?
Right.
And so then you have, I know it's a country in like Eastern Europe. There was a lot of issues, but this is I think we're going back, or like Vietnam, right, or something like that. Those kind of times. I did not know it was the motherfucking 90s.
They've been around that long?
It took $1 billion in 30 years to do it all. And apparently like 500 people have died since the war from like walking across these crazy mines.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, Croatia, I think the last time I was there was probably 20 years ago, and even then there was still bullet holes
Just
over
put your-
like all the walls of buildings and stuff. And yeah, it's crazy to see just how present the war is, and that was 20 years ago. So finally, a chance to turn the page and end that chapter is
It's
good
great.
news
Also-
for Croatia.
It's also crazy to think like people didn't really give a shit. You're just putting mines down with no map. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like did you ever have a plan to get them up, bitch? At some point, even if you won the war, how were you gonna get to your shit? Like whatever.
I was in Croatia 3 years ago. I didn't even know about this. That's crazy.
I'm sure they probably walled off all the areas, but you know what I mean? Because 500 people is not a whole lot. I mean, it's a lot, but it's like it's clear that it's like, you know what I mean? Like unless you're probably living out in the back, they probably ward off. But I mean, that is crazy still. That it was going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what that means is that you can actually go hiking in your country now and see the scenic beauty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
And
not
Croatia
worry
is
about
beautiful.
death or animals. You know what I mean? All right, so, and then the second positive news, San Francisco reduced its air quality by 20% over the last 15 years. Only city in the country to do so, which I thought was really fucking cool. It's one of the reasons I like living in San Francisco.
Yep.
Especially like you live in LA and their air quality is woo. Especially because like air quality literally has such a tangible impact on your health and longevity.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? So come on, San Francisco. All right, and that is the end of our show, ladies and gentle fucks. Stay tuned after the news recap for the panel on cancel culture. Stay tuned to hear me and my friends talk about how they cancel me. Oop. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
And as always, everyone, remember to follow me so you'll know when I post new shows. Remember to listen, rate, share, and laugh. And as always, keep it sassy, San Francisco. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, hello, hello. It's me you're waiting. Probably all I can do before copyright. Mike?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Jason?
Can you hear me?
Papa, can you hear me? Yes.
Am I the only one who can't say?
I can't sing shit.
Yeah, I guess I am the only one who
Fran
can.
Drescher over here on the mic.
And
I mean, I'm no Beyonce, but
I thought you said I was Fran Drescher.
No,
I was
I'm
like,
Fran
yeah, motherfucking mama, bitch. Okay. Hello, everyone. It is I, Roman. Full of color, I know, right? And we are here with another episode of WhenInRome, a panel. This one is going to be on cancel culture. No, I'm not getting canceled. Don't worry. You should worry. But I'm not getting canceled. But I wanted to sit here with some of my friends to talk about basically how you cancel personally. Like if anyone is watching the news or pays attention to anything in pop culture, every time you turn around, somebody from back in the day is doing something horrible, right? They're the Epstein files. They are Jeffrey Epstein. They went to the island. You know what I mean? They beating women up. You know what I mean? So I wanted to see, dive into how we all cancel, right? What that individually looks like. And so thank you guys for being here. Just introduce yourself real quickly and tell me your generation. The only reason I want to know is because I'm just trying to see if there's any generational differences in how we cancel.
Hi, Mike. I'm a millennial.
I'm Jason Godfrey. I'm a Zennial.
Thank you, Trajan, Gen Z.
I like the wink. All right, thank you guys for being here. And so let's get into the questions. Hopefully none of it gets canceled. Okay. Okay, so my first question is, do you have a specific way in which you cancel people? Meaning for example, maybe do you not do new stuff, but you listen to old stuff? Do you maybe you'll listen to one movie, but you won't watch a certain movie? Dwayne.
I think it's kind of like a mixed bag. It just depends. So, for example, the only person that I intentionally canceled was Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, just interesting because I mean he's like a major Trumper, right? A major MAGA guy. And so I was about to watch a new show, some Western or some such shit, and then I found that out, and I was done.
So you won't watch anything of his? Anything new? Would you watch would you still watch Rocky?
I'm done.
No Adrian at all.
No
No Adrian.
Yeah, based on the things that he said, I'm done.
You like everything?
Yeah,
everything.
done.
Okay. Mike.
Let's see. I don't specifically cancel that I know. I mean, it really depends. I think the way I cancel people is by feasting off of them as a butt of joke, of the joke. Like when Sherry Pie was canceled from Drag Race, like for a while, she was always the butt of my joke.
Oh, so you make fun of her?
Yeah.
But do you like for example, do you continue going to if they come out with new stuff? Do you listen to it? Do you buy it?
Oh no, I'm not keeping tabs on Sherry Pie or most people.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know some food brands are banned or canceled, and I can't, out of respect for my mom, buy Goya beans. So.
What happened? I don't even want to know about Goya beans.
I just supported Trump.
Okay.
Find me a corporation that hasn't.
Going against Goya might get me canceled, right? Jason?
The only artist that I cancel completely is R. Kelly.
Okay.
Everybody else is some nuance to it.
And when you say completely, no new shit, no old shit, no nothing.
New shit? Isn't he in prison?
Well, yeah, but I just mean if he did come out with new shit, or maybe he might come out with a memoir or some shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, he's done everything he's done. So.
Yeah, I think artists, brands, anywhere from Target to R. Kelly for sure. There's a lot of good R. Kelly projects, so unfortunately those are all on SoundCloud now. Yeah.
So So when you cancel, what do you do? You don't do anything new? You don't do anything old? That's it, or
nothing new. You try to avoid it as much as you can.
Yeah.
So any way that they get revenue, I'm not streaming it. I'm not buying it. I'm
Yeah.
not participating. I'm not playing it amongst the friends.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes a little guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I think it's kind of new shit. You know what I mean? Like if it's new, then because I guess you could argue they always get money if you click it. But for me, new shit kind of helps generate a buzz for them and blah blah blah. Versus if you're kind of listening to old shit, that's yours. You know what I mean? That's your memories or whatever.
Yeah.
But it also kind of depends on the thing. Like for example, you guys know Ace Ventura, the movie.
Yeah.
So I love that fucking movie, right? But then the ending is so transformative. You know what I mean? Where they find out she's trans and then they're spitting or whatever, and it was so. So I can't watch the whole movie. You know what I mean? 'Cause I was there's some movies where it's there'll be something you're okay, that was a time, that was pretty bad. But I guess that's just for me. I just can't watch a movie where at the very end, say it's funny until the very end, where they're literally spitting out the fact that there's a trans person. You know what I mean? So it's just that's kind of my personal thing. Okay. I want to ask you maybe about a couple of specific artists. How do you feel about Nicki Minaj? Do you Jason, for example? Do you play her?
I don't play her. I've never played her. I've never really been into her music. I mean, she's a good artist, back in the day. But she just turned the corner now. And even if I wasn't into her, I wouldn't fuck with her.
So you never played her, and you wouldn't play her as a DJ?
No.
What do you guys think
Especially
about?
now.
What about you, Tracy?
Yeah, actually, there's a way to cancel artists from being played in your playlist, on shuffle.
Oh, really?
So yeah, for Nicki Minaj, completely took her out. I saw a bunch of homophobic tweets.
How do you do that?
I think you just go into your playlist, and then where the settings are, the cue a song or any of that.
Yeah.
You can just be I think you can go in the actual artist and exclude this from being played in anyone else's playlist.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've done stuff like that.
Okay. What do you feel about playing her in the club?
Oh, it's hard because we have so many favorites by Nicki. So yeah, I haven't heard her played since she got canceled, but if she did get played, I'd probably forget and rap bar for bar. But for the most part, it's done. It's all done.
Because I bring it up because when I was in Brazil, they were playing her, and then so I was with some people who were American, and they were don't they know she's canceled? But how would Brazil know? You know what I mean? I don't know if they follow us that much, and she's not saying, you know what I mean? She's Trump, she's MAGA, but that's not. That's like saying when we stopped listening to somebody who was for Bolsonaro. Do you know what I mean? At the time, but still in America, when we even know, do you know what I mean? When we care if they told us, and when we have the same impact as saying they were for Trump. You know what I mean? What about you guys? What do you guys think? You guys?
If the girl from Ipanema tried to overthrow the Brazilian government, I'd probably be a little disappointed.
Okay.
So for me with Nicki, I didn't care about her in the first place, so it wasn't a loss.
Okay, let's go.
I do have to retire the quote, he tossed me around like his name Romaine because that was in my usual shtick, but so I've retired that one.
I don't know. I feel like that's yours. I don't know. Like maybe I feel like for Nicki, like I guess here's the question. So you guys, do you think that people should be playing her period right now?
I don't have a problem with it if people want to listen to it. It's their,
Yeah, I'm not gonna police other people.
No, I mean like in the club.
High risk, low reward.
I mean, if it's queer space,
High risk, low reward. I mean, you have a risk of causing a situation, and for what? Playing a Nicki Minaj song? I don't know.
I think if it's a queer space,
Yes.
it's problematic. But in a straight space, they probably won't get it.
Yeah, and it's real hard to like divorce the artist from like the memories that you have with each song. So it's like it's hard to judge other people when you're in a club and like they all have different memories, different experiences with that song, with that album. So I can't get mad at anyone else. And it's also like a community decision a lot of times to cancel people. It's typically not an individual thing. Like you look on Twitter, it's like a horde of people that are like saying this is why you shouldn't support that individual. I'll make my own choice, but typically it's like a collective. If the collective forgives her, you may be a little bit more sympathetic, but yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe the argument can be made that like because she's trying to be prominent right now, and she's it's because and through her racism and through her homophobia or her xenophobia, you maybe not play her. Do you know what I mean? Just because it just keeps her name out there in the sense that you don't want to. Then maybe then later when she's like following, when they've turned on her like they always will, then maybe you play her. You know what I mean? Years later. But right now I can see like not playing her because it just kind of keeps her name in the zeitgeist. So we just like fuck her. You know what I mean?
Sure.
All right, what do you think about P. Diddy? And the reason I ask is because these people have they're on different parts of they're on different journeys, right? So P. Diddy is convicted just recently of some really heinous shit. You know what I mean? Nicki Minaj not really convicted. She just talks too much shit. Right? So, what do you guys think about P. Diddy? Because P. Diddy was in everything.
He was in a lot of stuff,
He was a
producer too. He's not
yeah. So do you not listen to Biggie? Do you not listen to, you know what I mean? Like,
I think if he was involved in the song, you can still play it if it's another artist.
Yeah.
Because the other artist shouldn't suffer because of what he did. But as far as the song that he's the main artist, I mean, I have played something from him since he's been convicted, but it's most stuff. No. If the song is super hot, I'm gonna play.
But if you don't play P. Diddy, damn, that's most of the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, who do you play?
Right.
What do you think?
I mean, P. Diddy was actually convicted for some pretty terrible things. Nicki Minaj, that's just her politics, even though her politics are terrible. So if it's an out cancel contest, I'm putting my money on P. Diddy.
I don't know about the out cancel.
Convicted of?
So he was technically convicted of some of the more minor ones, but like it was still like I think soliciting, and then maybe bringing some drugs overseas.
I think it was trafficking for the intent of prostitution.
Yeah.
Absolutely so it was like a federal crime, so it was bringing prostitutes across state lines.
Yeah.
But the allegations were really serious. They couldn't like substantiate them in court, but like they look
And the videos, right?
And
So he technically wasn't like a convicted. So he wasn't like convicted as heinous a crime as R. Kelly, but he was. There was a lot.
But he also has tons of women that came out alleging abuse.
But those are alleging.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't be the victim. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to defend him. It's just like because what I heard was the trafficking across state lines, which could just be as easy as I get in a car and drive with someone who wants to go to Vegas and fuck. Like, I mean, when the way the feds are going to word it is going to be different. It's going to have it be amplified and be pretty hyperbolic. So that's what I was trying to ask, right?
Yeah.
So are you convicting a man because he got some ass and went to another state? Is that essentially what we're convicting him for, or canceling him for, or whether some other things? And that's what I was asking.
I think it's
like,
the
what are the
right?
things we're
I mean,
canceling him
like
for?
we saw the video with Cassie.
Yeah, it's a
just
suit.
like,
Yeah,
that's what
that was the question.
Yeah.
Aside from all the other stuff.
I just think that the reason I asked is because like kind of like you said, he produced a lot of things and he was in a lot of things with a lot of cameos. So the question can be asked like if you're canceling him for all those songs, are you then canceling those other artists? Do you know what I mean? Like, how many other artists? So that's a lot. I mean, that's saying you can't listen to Biggie. You can't listen to, you know what I mean? If you can't listen to Bad Boy, my God.
can't even listen to the whole Butterfly album by Mariah Carey.
Right.
He was in, I mean, what are some of the biggest singles? Like, he was in a music video. I forget the songs names, but yeah, he was in all the videos.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So you guys like will still play him like personally, but also the thing about him, unlike Nicki Minaj, is like nothing he's had is that recent. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit everything's nostalgic.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when it's nostalgia, I feel like you have the right to kind of keep it to to play it because it's.
I mean, some of that stuff is hot, and it, like you said, it's nostalgia, and it brings back good memories.
Okay, what do you think about R. Kelly then? We know kind of what you think. R. Kelly was actually convicted of slavery.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that seems like a clear, bright line.
So don't play him at all. No.
Yeah, I never cared about him in the first place, so it wasn't a thing for me. But
that was way too much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole Leah album when she produced, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. So like all the music that he made was about what he was doing.
Right. So that, I mean, that's a good like maybe.
R. Kelly's easy.
Yeah,
My
it's
Favorite
like
Girl.
Yeah,
all sorts of songs like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're going in order of more heinous.
Well, I'm picking different. So like the difference between okay, Nicki Minaj has talked a lot of shit, but she's got much more current songs that are popular. P. Diddy, as you were saying, P. Diddy, she hasn't broken any laws. P. Diddy got got on some smaller shit, but we know he did some bigger shit, and he's in everything from back in the day. R. Kelly, his lyrics were about the shit. You know what I mean? So there's different. I'm just trying to see if the differences are there. For example, like what about Chris Brown? Like Chris Brown has been convicted of, beating people. We know he's beating girls. You know what I mean? Blah blah blah. But it's not. But they're still letting him perform.
Yeah,
The judge just let him tour. What's it called? So I mean, like should we not be playing him? Because I mean, what's the difference really between him and P. Diddy? You know what I mean? They both got convicted of some kind of smaller crimes, but we know for a fact that they've done it. They keep doing it. There's actually more like a woman assault convictions for Chris Brown than P. Diddy. You know what I mean? He's got at least 3 or 4. Plus he tried to they tried to beat up Usher. You know what I mean? He's got into tons of fights. You know what I mean? There's definitely people trying to sue him.
Will for slapping Chris.
Yeah, right. So why is Chris Brown not as cancelable as P. Diddy? Just because I guess. That's a question for you guys. Personally, you don't have to ask why, what, how do you feel about Chris Brown?
I never really understood it, but I think one big piece is because Rihanna forgave him. So after the fact, with P. Diddy, you have none of the alleged people, none of them forgave him, and also like some of the crimes that weren't like proven in court, those are big crimes. Talking about blowing up cars, killing Tupac, big stuff like that. So I think that's a major difference.
So the salaciousness of it.
Yeah, the salaciousness of it, and also Chris Brown. He's kind of pretty, and I think there's a little bit of like that pretty privilege plays a part. Prove me wrong.
Because P. Diddy is not. But yeah, I mean, I think that's
his audience.
Yeah, but okay. That's true. But I mean, to your point, maybe there's something about the salaciousness that gets our attention, that makes us, captures us, and then we have these extreme reactions. And then also, is the person pretty like Chris Brown is? Plus, he's also not as famous. You know what I mean? And so the things he does don't get nearly as much. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know about half the things until I did an article for a podcast or whatever, and then I was like, God damn, he just been beating motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
I think the crucial difference is that Diddy cultivated a culture of abuse, whereas it was well known in his part or area of LA that women should just not go to his house. I mean, he also groomed Justin Bieber too. I think that there was a culture that he created.
Yeah.
Chris Brown. I mean, I don't know the details to his defense.
But it's definitely not to the level of, bringing he's not
Well, Chris is more one-on-one.
Chris
sideways.
P. Diddy, it was way more.
Yeah, P. Diddy was more broad.
So do any of you guys play Chris Brown? You don't have any issues with it?
I don't listen to him, but I don't have a problem with it.
I play his old shit. Once again, I wouldn't go to his new shit. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go to his new concerts or whatever, or his concerts, and I don't even like his new shit, but I'll play the old shit from you. But I guess that's just me. All right, last question, we're gonna go to break. What does it generally take for you to cancel a celebrity?
Shit. Yeah, that was the thinking of.
I would say with R. Kelly, it's some kind of sexual misconduct with minors. That's an absolute.
Okay.
Aside from that, I don't know. With Diddy, like I said, it's because he's involved in so much stuff. It's it's kind of a tougher call. But yeah, for example, Nicki. Nicki's been saying shit for a while. I haven't liked the bitch for a
a long time because all she does is talk shit, and like the bars were like, you know, for her until she did, you know, MAGA, but it was like she was talking hella shit. She would say rude shit, or like Azalea Banks. You know what I mean? Like it took me a while, but it was like, okay, girl, like you just, you know what I mean? But she just says the craziest shit, and I think there's some mental issues in there, but that doesn't excuse it. But I still like, you can't just say whatever you want about people. You know what I mean? So for me, it was when they started talking shit about gay people and just calling people fags and you know what I mean, and all that kind of shit. So I'm just wondering, like, what? So you said sexual. Is there any is that like the line for everyone?
For sure.
Yeah. I think one of the big pieces, like the differences between like Azalea and Nikki, and they seem more similar by the day, is Azalea's an equal opportunist. She is racist, misogynistic, homophobic, even though she is openly bisexual.
Right.
She is really rude to white people, specifically white gays, white twinks. There's a whole diatribe with that. Whereas you see some of the other artists like Nicki Minaj or other ones, like they really isolate people and like they've been normal before. I don't think Azalea really had like a normal quiet period in her career. She's always been controversial, so you kind of give her a little bit of a pass.
Okay.
Not saying I'm giving that, but I'm just saying the public does.
So what do we think about Dave Chappelle?
That motherfucker. So me and Jason talk about him a lot because he likes him, but I can't stand James Chappelle. And my thing is like, you started talking about trans people, and it was more. You know what it was me for me it was more his response. You know what I mean? It wasn't the initial jokes, but it was like it's clearly once he got to people started responding, he didn't give a fuck. And what really got me is that he expected that just because he's a black man, he did shit, you know what I mean? He pushed the zeitgeist in some kind of way that still excuses you that you can't learn or that you can't be wrong. That was really what got me. Like, I understand comedians may try to push the envelope, but you got to listen. If the group is saying that they don't like that to you, maybe go and find out why. Because there's definitely ways to make it for trans girls. I do all the time, and they laugh. You know what I mean?
The thing about it is that people complain, but he still sells out shows. You know, so it hasn't hurt him.
Right, but I think that's also a problem. He also went to Saudi Arabia, the Riyadh Festival, and then he basically said he went because he gets to say whatever he wants. Yeah. But it's funny is he didn't say anything about the regime. You know what I mean? He didn't say anything about them not having democracy because he's taking that shit. Right. But he's like, you can say whatever you want. Really? Can you though? Anyway.
Yeah. You know, I just asked because, you know, Dave's someone I find very funny, but I find that pretty problematic, and so I'm torn actually, right? So,
and I watch a lot of comedy and comedians, and I understand, you know, you should like real comedy makes you think, but it shouldn't be beating down. And that's what I feel like he's doing. He's beating down those people.
Yeah, if he dropped a new special, I'd watch it, but I wouldn't go pay to see it.
I'd watch. Fuck him. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. It does bring up a question I have. What would it take for an artist or someone to be uncanceled?
Good question.
Like
how long does it take? You know what I mean? I don't know. Sorry, I'm not saying.
Well, so the reason I brought up Dave Chappelle was because I forget who it was. We were talking about Eddie Murphy when he had his special. I think it was like in 1980 something. Yeah, around there. Yeah. And he had a whole thing on gays and AIDS in that period. And then apparently in 1996, it was more of like, you know, Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. He actually came out and said, hey, you know what? I didn't know back then. I know better now, and essentially it was like the mea culpa. And so to your point, what does it take to get uncanceled? Maybe that would be at least somewhere along the line of what you're looking for.
A mea culpa, maybe like them actually going and working with, you know, an advocate, you know, an organization that's from this community, you know what I mean, that they've made fun of or something.
And when were those jokes made? Were they made after he got caught with the girl in the car?
Before.
Okay.
The trans girl in the car?
Yeah. Because after you got caught, I forgive you. You part of the community.
Right. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't try to act different, girl.
Your sister.
You want to be funny all the time, but a trans girl. Shit, bitch. Okay, last question. What about Kanye West? The only reason I ask is because like nobody really canceled Kanye West. I mean, he got canceled in the sense that like he couldn't do shit, but like did any of us stop playing him? You know what I mean? Nobody stopped playing him. Yeah, like, and he was saying, I mean, he said the crazy shit.
He's done some wild shit, but he's apologized recently.
Has he?
Girl, yeah.
I mean, not that you should accept it.
It was a bullshit tweet, and you know he's only apologizing because he ain't got shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the only person who listened to him is Bianca in the new dresses. Anyway, let me shut up. Go ahead.
But so does he suffer from mental illness? Are we
Clearly.
doing yeah.
It's clear.
So that's tough. That's a tough one there. He's got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, but
for
like,
me that, you know, I mean, I don't, again, so a lot of these questions probably don't, as the, what am I, Gen X?
yeah, but I mean, there's
So
still,
I don't listen to them.
yeah, but there's still space for that. Like, I mean, that's because you're still part of the community, and
No,
there's
I
a
get
good
it.
amount of people. Like, how do you?
It's just easy
cancel
for me
people?
not to,
Yeah.
to fuck with him.
Yeah. All right, let's go to break with some good conversation, and we'll be back to talk about questions like Sydney Sweeney, J.K. Rowling, TikTok, X. So yeah, some fun. We'll be back soon. And we're back from break. I didn't mean to do that right there. That's not what I was doing on the break. Thank you everyone for being here for our panel on cancel culture. How do you cancel specifically? It's been really fun. Let's get back into it. So I have a question. It's how important do you think? Sorry, should I start that? How important do you think that economic boycotts are/can be, and when would you support?
And there's some specificity around it, and usually time boxed. They can be pretty impactful.
So when would you, for example, support a boycott for a company? What would need to happen?
So I don't know if I got like one hard fast rule, but generally, you know, obviously if it's something to do with race, it's likely going to be the things that cut close to home. So if it's race, if it's gender, if it's sexuality, it doesn't only have to be about me. I'm also going to be an ally of women and other kind of minority or disenfranchised groups. But things that touch in that area are the ones that have sparked me before to think about participating. Now, it does get exhaustive and tiring because I'm like, okay, trying to keep it all straight. Do I not go to Lowe's or do I not go to Home Depot? I think I heard Chipotle I can't eat now, but then we know Chick-fil-A.
Right.
You can't. So, you know, there's a limit or a cognitive load for what will I participate in, but I'm not going to ride every ride.
Does it also, that limit also depend on how intrinsic that company is to you? Meaning, like, if you use it every day or use it all the time, you know what I mean?
Well, we
Would
talked
you be
about-
like,
yeah.
you might have to kill my wife or something.
Yeah, no, off camera we talked about Amazon, and then
Yeah.
like in the previous one, I think I brought up the fact that I don't know if he's still on the board or part of the company, but the Whole Foods founder is a Republican, and I believe he's MAGA, but I don't want to put out misinformation. And so, do we all in the Bay Area stop going to Whole Foods?
Well, we
Something
can
like
get to that question
so-
because I was going to ask, like, for you guys about tech, like, what would it take for you to stop using? I mean, there's Apple, there's, you know what I mean? You know, like, what would it take for you to turn off tech? I mean, we'll make social media different, but like, let's just think about, you know, Waymo, Uber, Amazon. Do you know what I mean? Because we're kind of getting there, right? Like we're getting, like we could argue that billionaires are doing things, you know, court to court in ways that are more visible. I think they always have courted this, but I mean, when does it? What exactly? Look at Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk is a fucking avowed Nazi. He put the fucking, you know what I mean? But, you know, but no one has stopped using Teslas, right? So it's like, when do we? Or you know, is there a line for us? And I don't even know what my own line is, so I'm just kind of asking.
Well, to answer your question, I will cut a company off when, to your point, when they start to implement practices that exclude people. You know, like Target. I haven't shopped at Target since they took away all the DEI stuff. So yeah, that's my
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to avoid more companies if I could. It's hard to find one that are panoply of options that align with my politics, but they are effective. Like in Uber in 2017, I know that there was a backlash against the company for having a toxic work environment for women, and I think that was standard for a lot of startups at that time, and that led to the ousting of their founder and CEO. And so they are effective. I can't promise that I didn't use an Uber during that time, but I'm glad a large amount of people did.
Yeah, I think we're not supposed to be using Uber again right now, actually. I forget what it is that they did, but yeah.
Were we ever? Sure. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to another person. What do you think about J.K. Rowling? I mean, I can't stand the bitch, but I'm just kidding. But anyway, whew, I gotta breathe. Go ahead.
Shout out to Jinx Monsoon for responding to Z-Way's question about J.K. Rowling in the character of Lucille Ball, was it?
Shout out.
I mean, I never read her stuff, so
Anyone?
I have a question for you after people give their opinion, because I genuinely probably have an opinion that might be a little bit outside of the mainstream of this.
Okay, go
for it.
So, I believe that under the law, we should all be treated equally. We should all have opportunity under the law. But then I think to myself, and I'm open to being corrected, if I were born as a male and had my body exposed to the testosterone as a male up until, say, 18 years old, testosterone will indicate what my muscle fiber density will be like, what my bone density will look like. And if at that point at 18, I have inhibitors to testosterone, and now identify as a woman, would that person that I now am be better advantaged physically in a sport with someone who was born woman at birth? And then depending on that answer, because that's the crux for me, because I want, inclusion. I'm obviously, I'm a gay black man. I want everything to be there for everybody. But then I think I got to put myself in both people's shoes. If I'm the woman who didn't have the advantage of, or presumed advantage is my argument, then is that fair? Is that equal? And that's where, for me, that I have questions.
I would just say that, I think it should be based on more body makeup and not gender, because I could argue that if you search out there, you can find women of all different weight and muscles, maybe not to the extreme that the biggest that man could get, but I think that, that's like not all women are made the same. So I think if you're just talking about musculature and whatever, sure, but I can find a woman most likely that can match that musculature. It might be a smaller percentage.
I think we can find outliers, but the bone density and the muscularity, those are
we're
things
talking, but I don't think that most men are more muscular than most, I think if we're talking NFL, sure, but there's there's all types of muscles and all types of women and men, and I don't think that men are so much more muscular than women as a general rule. Do you know what I mean? I think that if you're talking some really huge athletes, sure, but there's a lot of small athletes. Look at look at gymnasts. Gymnasts are really small, and they're really muscular. So you're saying that they're not
the size, but not the density of the muscle and the bone. And either way, I would like to see the science on it rather than just anecdotally speaking about it. That's where I have a question. If scientifically there is a difference that could potentially give an advantage, then is it apples to apples? And then does it disadvantage a woman who was, born at birth?
But there's probably a lot of questions, because I could just say, if I have more musculature, would that negate some of the advantages of having better bone density?
I'd like to see the science on it. That's where the questions are for me.
In my opinion, it's a kids' sports league. Who cares who's playing it? If it was the pinnacle of athletic
we're talking about college
prowess.
That's usually where it's shown up. What we're talking about. It's not only, but the ones that have made the news have been college athletes.
There's a lot of high schools in there, which I think is you're a high school, do you know what I mean? So I think that's probably a different question than college, and I think maybe talking to the level, right?
Right.
Yeah. Testosterone does give some benefits body-wise, such as height, muscles, such as you have identified. I think one of the biggest issues is this issue with sports has been singled out, and it's been used to put trans people under the fire. I think that's something that's really something I really don't like the whole debate. So yeah.
Yeah, because I think you could probably argue that if we're talking I think the events that I've seen, it's really not a trans woman or a trans woman trying to be in a man's sport. You know what I mean? It's generally a trans woman trying to be in a woman's sport. But I think I don't know if I think the question is are those women specifically that much more muscular than the women around them? And generally, I think that they're very close. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We're getting to some very very specific questions, but I think, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm seeing, when I see the examples, I don't see the Hulk versus, you know what I mean? Like Alice and Alice in Wonderland, I see some very similar body shapes.
Yeah, I don't know about the Hulk, but I forget the person's name. It was the swimmer. I believe they actually removed her ranking, unfortunately. And she was outsized compared to the other women on the team. And there was a specific instance of a volleyball player as well. I just want to be clear. I want and believe that no one should be discriminated against or not have equal protection under the law. But there's something nagging in my mind of, are we being fair to all women? And I just don't know where that line is. I think, at least in the argument from what I've heard, I think we've been very good as a society about maybe clarifying what the problem is, but I don't know if I've heard the solution that resonates fairly for everybody.
Absolutely, and real quick, absolutely, and I think it's a good question. I think it's also like a better question, you know, for scientists and trans women, which there are none on this panel, or cisgender women to answer.
But
I think it's a good
panel
question.
topic, and then I can find an expert who can speak to it. Because when I've seen the experts speak to it, they just start going off, and I'm like, oh, okay, go on.
Absolutely. I just want to clarify.
Yeah,
that
it's good.
point.
I mean, it's good, but at the same time, it's like not too many people have access to an expert. You know what I mean? A lot of people are asked to vote on either parties who are making these decisions, or you know what I mean, or you know they're going to sports that continue to make these decisions, and then do you support them? You know what I mean, or not, right? So I think it's a good question that should be an answer, and I'll try to work on trying to get a panel about it. All right, let's see. Okay, how do you guys feel about TikTok?
Ooh, I used to be big into TikTok, but since they changed their terms and services, I haven't.
What do you guys think? Like the reason I chose that one is because it's a lot about changing the terms of service. You know what I mean? Versus like Twitter, you know, which we could get to, and they changed their terms of service, right? So this is kind of this for TikTok. It's kind of like anticipated things. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think from the start, TikTok is very unhealthy. It's like one of the strongest algorithms that we know of that's out here on one of these social media platforms. We know that it recommends like unhealthy content to all sorts of people. It didn't have like much of an age requirement, and if it did have an age requirement, it's very easy to bypass. I just download and undownload that motherfucker like it's nothing. So with TikTok, whether it's owned by China or the US, it has not really been healthy. And now that it's owned by one of Donald Trump's good friends, isn't it that one of the Ellisons, the former owner and CEO of like Oracle?
So I think they went together and went on it with some people to get it.
Yeah. So with that, one of my large fears about the app, besides like the algorithm and it being unhealthy, is that now it's going to be used to mold or shape public discourse in people's minds.
Right.
And we know damn well that this administration they want to control the media. Like look at what they did to Jimmy Fallon. Look at what they're doing to other news networks, trying to manipulate CBS, manipulate the laws. Something like that. That's super worrisome for me. I heard someone say something about the terms of services. Is that what you say? Yeah, like the new ones. It's just a lot of problems with TikTok and that. So I just put a whole can of worms out there. But
so you were never a fan of TikTok. You were a fan,
and I use it. I do use it, but not a fan.
Okay.
But I use it, so a little hypocritical. Very hypocritical.
Okay.
Yeah, I started grow up and watch TikToks be reposted on Instagram Reels. So
what?
I mean, I consume my TikTok on Instagram Reels.
So you still use TikTok?
No, I just see people repost TikToks on Instagram.
Oh, okay, so you don't actually use it, but you still kind of intake some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
No, I don't use it. I've never used it.
So my interesting thing was like I was starting. I didn't really I never used it because it was just like for the same reasons I'm sure you brought up. But then for the purpose of the podcast, I was starting to use it, and just you know what I mean. And it was I was seeing some more engagement there. But then when I came back from Brazil, it was just kind of like, do you know what I mean? Like I was just like it is really toxic. Plus, it was whenever I would get on TikTok, like and you would because I was just going to check my like stats or whatever, right? I like whatever video they would show me would be really fucking annoying. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, and you can't just go straight to the stats when you open the app. So it was just like I was getting hit with just that little it was already fighting or negativity or something, and I was like, bro, I don't want to use it.
That part, yeah. I will say, social media with all the cons and stuff, it still does have some benefits. It connects people. You can get like some of your content out there. Like as with all the cons of TikTok which I just named quite a bit. There are some big pros. That's why I haven't full on deleted the app, and I think it actually has improved with time. So I hope that some of these platforms and these technologies with public criticism can continue to evolve. With cancel culture, one of the big downsides is you just go on forever. So hopefully there could be some evolution. There's a comeback. There's some improvement. Yeah.
So I guess I have a question. What would it take for you guys to give up social media completely?
I don't know if I would. don't know. I mean, for me, it's a way I promote DJing.
Same. It's a way I promote.
So it's like,
you know what I mean? So it's tied to your work.
It's a way I find
how
out about
can I
parties.
Entirely.
Right.
Yeah, I might not give it up, but I think there's healthier ways to consume it. I mean, I remember back in my day when you would scroll through Instagram, there would be a part eventually that says, "You're caught up for now." And then that'd be great because then
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's assuming the social media companies are going to do that, which I mean,
And
we'll
they're not
see.
gonna do
So there's like, what is
well, we'll see. I mean, there is ongoing litigation right now.
Well, if they're
TikTok,
forced to.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, they're not going to
Yeah,
choose it.
well-
But that, I mean, like, but that could be, if it's litigation, it's probably going to be years. So I guess the question is, what are some better ways to consume it? Or to like, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
I mean, there are apps that will limit your time on the app. I mean, I've used apps like that. So,
So absolutely. I know that like I watched this our special. And they were talking about like some of the things that you draw you in. So I turn off notifications so they can't notify you because it was like that's to get you in. And I learned I was using it a lot less there. So notifications. I mean, I think Terry, you talked about limiting what it shows you. You can put into the thing like words that you don't want it to bring up. You know, so I put in for TikTok. It was like, or was it TikTok? No, it was X at the time. And it was like fighting because I was just like, girl. At some point, I don't know what I clicked on, but it was just giving me every fighting video in the world. And I was like, okay, girl, it's a lot. All right. So I mean, there's ways you can get around it. Does anyone else? What would it take you guys to get on social media? Or would you?
I mean, to Mike's point, I was thinking like completely, I definitely can drastically reduce it. So similar to what you did, pulling back on push notifications. So when you're working, developing UIs that push notifications, giving you a dopamine boost, that's just keeping you there, right? So I've done that. I don't use Twitter, but I was never really. I just stopped using it altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, so just pulling back.
Okay.
I'd say also, you know, being a Gen Z and being a kid with the internet, being gay and closeted in a conservative place, social media gave me the freedom to meet other gays.
Yeah.
So that was like a huge plus, like that.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see like other realities. So giving up social media with that, you can still do that. You can still connect with other people, and yeah. So I give it up for me personally.
I know that's a question that people ask, you know, in Australia when they, because they're doing, you know, you have to be 16 and up to use social media. And so one of the things people against it were saying is like, what happens if you're gay, trans, whatever, and you know what I mean, you use social media to find compromise and and do you still do it? That's true, but it's also like, I guess the question is like, how, like social media does nothing to limit you from being gay, trans, and vulnerable from meeting a lot of other people who are out there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, and then here's like one more question. One more. Okay, good. My last question is, what do you think about clicks as a form of protest of that kind of message? And that's like, you know, in terms of like clicking on something, right? You can not click on advertisements. You can not click on news article links. What do you guys think about that? Or do you use it or not?
I don't know how effective that would be, because I mean, it's like to me, protest is like kind of more organized, and getting like a large enough group of people to implement that would be kind of challenging, I guess. But I don't know. Do you do it?
I try if I can, like if I'm watching, because you know I consume a lot of news, and especially for the podcast, I try to see if something seems a little bit too sensational, and I try not to click on it.
I mean, I do that.
The click on it, I think, also, you know, generates, you know, whatever. So I try not to, like, oh no, you try, you know what I mean, or whatever, or like Sydney Sweeney, like I can't stand her. Like obviously there's a billionaire out there that is trying to keep this girl out there because her articles are just always, and it's like you're not even that popular, you know what I mean? But like when I would used to click to be like whatever, like no, I don't want to click on it, you know what I mean? So I think that it can also help, you know, maybe the algorithm not sending you shit. But I do think that, like, you're right. It would take a lot of people, but it's also like, if society as a general, you know, society in general can decide things, like we, you know, are now deciding not to drink more as we find out more about drinking, right? And so it starts to have an impact. So if like societies realize that the sensationalization of the things being out there, and we started to click less, it would have a material impact. But it would be hard to get us all to do it. But I think we could all get there at some point. Does that make sense? Anyone else? All right, well, that has been a really, really good conversation. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jason. And thank you, Trajan. We have not been. No, none of us have been canceled. I think Dwayne got close with the trans question. I know I'm having some friends like, got to talk to your friend. Woo! But I actually welcome the conversation. It was really, really good. Thank you. This has been When in Rome. Say goodbye, gentlemen. Bye, guys. We love you. As always, keep it sassy, San Francisco. Ciao, ciao.